welcome to Pull a Pin Ready, a place where average veterans come to share their opinions in the world we live in. We can't guarantee you're going to like our opinions, but we promise we're going to enjoy giving them to you. I'm Jim.
I'm not Steve either. And that's
And
also
I'm
not
not
Steve.
Steve.
He's definitely not Steve. All right, Nate, what are we going to talk about?
Well, I think next episode we should, usually we do headlines all the time. We go through 3 or 4 or 5 headlines a show. I think this episode we should dedicate one headline for this whole show to the situation that happened, that mass shooting situation that happened down in Texas recently.
Yeah, like this latest we've got is 18 students, 2 teachers killed in mass shooting, Texas elementary school. Obviously, at the time of recording this is the information we got. So first we want to start out, obviously, with our condolences to all the families and all the people involved, because these are never good stories. They're never something we want to hear or see, especially in this country, especially with children. But what do you guys think of it?
Yeah, like you said, initially when the first headline I saw, it was one child, one teacher. Then I saw like 14 and 1. Now it's up to 18 and 2. So obviously these headlines are coming in faster than what the news is reporting, or reporting faster than what we're getting, however we want to say it. So more and more, I guess, information's coming out from this tragedy there in Texas. So this might not be the final numbers by the time it's all said and done.
Yeah, I've got school age kids and some that aren't quite school age. So this kind of stuff, just kind of punches you in the stomach as a parent a little bit.
Yeah, I got a first grader in pre-K, so this is the school my kid would be attending. So, it's I don't know why an 18-year-old. That's the information I have now. I'm assuming he's 18, and he was killed also. What does he have wrong with elementary school age kids? It's now, obviously, we don't know the whole story here. We don't know if he's been on some watch list. We don't know if he has a mental disability or what happened. But we know in previous mass shootings that, oh yeah, we knew about that guy. Well, why didn't you do anything about him?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of this stuff, when you go look back at it, we went away. There used to be a time and day where we used to have places for people with mental disorders and people, and they used to put them in place. And all those days, they went away. Like now, we just put them on drugs or put them out in the streets, and you know what I mean. Like, so, I'm not quite sure what this kid's status was, because also you have to remember too, it could be popularity, it could be fame, it could be all this other stupid stuff that social media is bringing into the picture too. And I mean, like I said, we all have children here in school, so this hurts a lot. But I mean, it just doesn't even make sense either. It's just a senseless thing. Like, I don't even get it. Like, I just don't understand if this kid's got a problem or any kind of issue. Why? I mean, it's just senseless.
Yeah, you would think with an extra $40 billion laying around to send to foreign countries, we can use $40 billion to open up mental facilities to help these type of people if this situation deems that for this kid. But I guess we say kid, he was 18, but that's a kid to us. And even we know past mass shooters, they had mental problems. So obviously there's a mental problem here. So we need to open up more mental facilities for people to get help.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised too there, Mr. Steve. I think we had briefly talked about this stuff. This is in Texas. I mean, Texas is a free, open gun kind of place. Like, I'm surprised that this guy got in and did whatever he did, because I would think that they wouldn't have a problem. You know, I just don't. I don't know their laws specific. I haven't been there in a long time, but I would think there'd be more protection around.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know Texas laws of who can and can't. I'm assuming it's school grounds, so I'm assuming that they have the same laws as the rest of the country does. No weapons on the school grounds, but I don't know if they allow teachers or I don't know if they had a school resource officer there or not either. So I mean, we don't know the whole story yet. So I don't want to jump to any assumptions.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean to his point, I mean, we also, we don't know. Not only do we not know, what was going. I mean, there's, to the best of my knowledge, from what I've read and seen so far, I mean, there's been no discussion as far as what sort of weapon was involved here, or uh, you know, I mean, I don't know what the school looks like down there, but I mean, my kid's school, I got to get buzzed in, with a little camera system. I mean, how did he get in? How did he gain access? I mean, there's
That,
still a whole lot of questions
I had
that
that same question too that you just mentioned. And I was talking about to one of my neighbors. He said, "Well, they're 2 hours behind us, and I don't know. They're out in San Antonio, so they should only be an hour behind us." He
hmm,
was saying we don't know. Maybe it was when school was letting out, because I don't know if that information. I don't know if he got into the school. I haven't seen that information.
right.
If that's what happened or not. So he was thinking, well, maybe school was coming out when he was doing it. So I don't know if they actually got into the school.
Well,
I haven't seen the actual.
well, I don't want to make it political because obviously that's what people are going to do, gun
Well, it's
control,
gonna
all
be.
this stuff. But I think not Steve there just answered his own question. We don't know. Why don't we know? Because if this had certain
Because it doesn't
demographic,
fit the
we would
agenda.
know.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. So I mean, okay. So anybody here have the name of the shooter?
It's not John Smith, but there is a
No.
name out there. There is a name out there, but it's not John Smith. Yeah.
It was
Yep.
like
No. I just.
Alfonso or
I'm gonna make assumptions, but it doesn't sound white.
nope.
So the location of this shooting was about halfway between. It was 80 miles out of San Antonio, towards the direction of the border, in a predominantly Hispanic town, and Salvador Ramos.
There you go. So there's a possibility he could be a Democrat, he could be an immigrant, he could be not white, and he might not have used an AR. So we don't know any of that information yet.
I did see a rifle and handgun mentioned, but they didn't say automatic rifle. I just saw rifle and
Well,
handgun.
but that's
So
my point, Nate. Is if there was an AR, it
I'm
would be
saying
in
what
the
I have.
headline.
I'm
Well,
saying.
an
Yeah,
AR
white
is not an
male.
automatic rifle, anyways, unless
It would.
it's pre 1989 gun ban.
Well, no, we're not going by the real definition. We're going by the media
sorry.
definition. Yeah, the media definition: assault rifle, white kid shoots up elementary school. It would be in the headline. It would be in the headline. We wouldn't be guessing.
And this is just going to draw more gun control debate. I mean,
Well, and
Well, I don't think it can. I don't think it can. That's what I'm saying.
oh,
I
it
think
already
they're
has.
trying
It
to
already
bury
has. I mean, the New York Times article I was just sitting here reading. It's got statements from Tom Tillis, Ted Cruz. And they're talking about how heartbroken they are and yada yada yada. But then when you get Nancy Pelosi and the oh God, what's the other woman's name?
Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, thank you. All their discussion is, they're not talking about what a tragedy this is. They're talking about, how this is all evidence that we need more gun control. But I mean, to me, if you'd have had a couple of armed teachers in that school, well, maybe it would have been a different story.
Right.
I mean,
Depending.
people who want to go shoot up places, they don't go shoot up places where there are other armed people. That's why there's always this massive perplexity about how, well, I don't know how they keep getting these guns into gun-free zones. Well, they're criminals. They're not going to abide by the law.
Right.
So yes, they're going to go where they know nobody else has a weapon. It's not rocket science.
and I mean that goes for drug-free school zones too. That really works too, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the kids smoking pot in the bathrooms. I knew some of those.
And
Not Steve.
let's be real too. We don't want to, I don't like to pass judgment on these scenarios like, we're just kind of picking it apart without the information. Because let's be real. I mean, there are so many circumstances where it could still have happened, even if you had a lot of this stuff in place. Just like you're talking about, even if you had locked doors, it could still happen. The problem is we're not even treating the people that are doing this stuff.
Bingo.
Like, that's it. We're labeling people and we're trying to stop the tools. I mean, let's be real, dude. We were in the military. If you got a mission and your mission is to eliminate something, I'm not going to, you're going to do it by any means necessary. So you could take all the forks and knives out of my utensil drawer and I'll go find a pencil. Like, what do you, I mean, I don't understand what these people are doing. It's me that would be the problem, not the tools.
Yes.
So I just don't understand these people, how they can sit there like little talking heads. Guns, 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 guns. I just don't get it.
Well, that's why I don't like the term assault rifle, because assault is not an adjective; it's a verb. Assault is something you do. I mean, I can turn this into an assault cell phone if I hit you with it hard enough. It's to your point. It's exactly what you said. It's not about the tool. It's about what is in the heart and mind of the person who is committing the act. And, we for years, and I don't just mean we as in veterans or we as in Americans, I mean, we as in human beings have got this negative stigma that is still very strong. I mean, it's nowhere near as bad as it has been, but we've still got this very strong sort of negative stigma around people seeking help, for mental conditions.
And the problem is when so many people go and seek help, oh, we don't have a bed for you. Come back later, or we'll call you when there's a bed available. So
or God forbid you go to the VA and they don't have an appointment for you for 3.5 months.
Yeah, when you get a mass in your chest and hey, come back in 3 months to see if it grows.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not even talking about standard, general health issues. I mean, when you're dealing with, I mean, we're talking mental health here, okay, Jim? Nobody cares about you. But I mean, no, I mean, so I mean, you're talking about the VA. I mean, you're talking about a demographic of people who have traditionally had
a history
considerably higher odds of having issues with mental health, and you're getting told that your appointment isn't for 3.5 months, then yes, there's a problem. Okay. And, I mean, I can't imagine some kid, who's in some border town getting bullied in school. I mean, I'm not dismissing what this kid did. Yes, he's wrong, but I mean, were the tools there to do anything for him? I seriously doubt it.
Let's talk about the other side of this coin too. Are we helping any by calling everything racist and pitting people against each other, and everybody's you're ultra MAGA or you're this or you're that? I mean, are we helping any? Like literally the mainstream media, just like the whole reason we're talking about this.
Helping their agenda.
White supremacy, like what are you talking about? If these people are even remotely crazy, you're putting it in their mind. You're actually inciting it.
That's where the term conquer and divide comes from, Jim.
I think you had that backwards.
Divide and conquer.
Yeah.
It's all the same. It's interchangeable.
Well, that's when you conquer them and you kind of separate them in piles. Like,
don't tell me what my saying means, not Steve. That's my saying.
I think it's easier if you do it the other way around.
Probably
divide them and then conquer them.
Sure.
I think it's the whole purpose of it. Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with your saying. Your saying sounds better, but yes, I mean that's the whole. It's all that's all. That's any politician. All that's what they do, no matter Republican, Democrat. That's all they want to do is divide and conquer. It doesn't matter which one you are. That's why I'm independent. I'm all about unity.
I mean, but think about it though. I mean, think about it. If like they jump on the whole MAGA thing. Like, what is MAGA? Make America Great Again. The whole nationalist, not white nationalist that they try to make it sound like, but nationalist brings people together. We're all Americans. It gives us something to stand for. Gives us a reason to support our neighbors. We're all Americans.
What nationality are you?
But these people are trying to
America's
divide.
a nation,
They're
right?
saying that's bad. What's that?
He said, "What nationality are you?" I said, "America's a nation, right?"
Yeah.
What we're calling nationalists. Isn't that what we're supposed to be?
But you get what I'm saying, though. That's
the
the point. I don't understand why they're so intent on dividing us. And then, oh, why did this happen? Why did that happen? Because you're a moron. And even a dumb American is still worth something, right?
They want to divide, so we're too busy internally fighting, so they stay in office and keep making money off of crooked stuff they shouldn't be making money off of. The
Yeah, but I'll
American
tell you
people.
about these. I don't understand these politicians. Like I understand the world view people. I understand the people that got the money that can go live in Kazakhstan or whatever country they choose. I understand those people. But if you think your riches and all that wealth you have in this country is going to be anything if it collapses, let me tell you, I'll be the first one to run over and grab all Pelosi's ice cream. I'll be the first one. If you take all of my stuff away from me, I'm coming for the rich people.
Well, you gotta get no.
wait.
You gotta get through her security and her gate first.
Well, you
I was
say
gonna say,
that, but
She has her
is
own.
grabbing Pelosi's ice cream a euphemism for something else?
yeah,
Do you have a little
know
crush
it,
you need to tell us about, Jim?
You know it. You know.
You
First
dog, you dog.
You know it.
Yeah, like she has more security than elementary school did.
But
I mean,
stop that for a second. And I understand and appreciate the
She
point
probably
you're
has a bigger budget every year than that elementary school did.
But let me ask you something. Who are these security people? If you were on our security detail and all of a sudden America was collapsing, who's protecting your family? So these better be single men who, or women, I guess women could be on there too, single people who have nothing to protect outside of Pelosi's house.
no,
Because,
I'd bring my family to Pelosi's house because it's already secure.
okay, if that's happening,
And eat her ice cream.
right, then you get the ice cream. But you get what I'm saying is like, I don't understand their logic. Like if you take this country and tear it down, your money, your mansions, they're worthless. You couldn't leave them. So why would you do that?
That's the divide they want, and mass shootings is part of their divide agenda.
Well, this has to be a bigger global agenda because people living in this country shouldn't be that stupid to think collapsing this country is beneficial to them. It has to be a global agenda. It has to be something bigger than the United States.
So is the conspiracy theory evolving to the Rothschilds now? Do we get to go on to the Illuminati? Do we get to do that?
I don't know.
Be careful, Jim. You'll get us shut down. I didn't say anything.
Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Well, but you get what I'm saying. We've kind of gotten a little way off topic of the shooting, but I mean, you're going to see it, right? You're going to see. I mean, at this point, I haven't seen a lot of the news, but we're going to see it all politicized. And just the way we were talking, the headlines are missing a lot of information, so we know right off the bat it's not being used for the agenda. They're actually trying to probably hide it.
I mean, I've got some of these already politicized headlines. I mean, here you go. Tom Tillis, Republican of North Carolina. I think what we have to do every time we enter this discussion is take a look at any kind of reasonable measures. And one of those has to be better understanding where the threats are in the community. It's probably the most sound logic.
Sounds legit.
I don't know what he exactly means, but it doesn't sound anything crazy.
Okay, but here you go. Here's Nancy Pelosi's quote. For too long, some in Congress have offered hollow words after these shootings while opposing all efforts to save lives. It is time for all in Congress to heed the will of the American people and join in enacting House-based bipartisan common sense life-saving legislation into law. No condolences for families.
Wait. Is she talking about abortions or no?
I didn't say it. I was going to. I was going there, but you beat me.
All I'm saying is that the Republican from North Carolina is sending condolences and whatever, while the hippie liberal from California is talking about life-saving legislation.
The Speaker of the House, not even just some congressperson. The Speaker of the House.
Yep.
Not my house. I speak for my house.
You're not even in your house.
That's fair. That's okay. I'm speaking for my non-disclosed locations house too.
But yeah, I think we got to our point on this. Everybody has an opinion, so please, anybody who wants to discuss with us, jump on these episodes. We're welcome to have you.
Yeah, I mean, take it from a perspective, military perspective, right? Let's say the school is your base. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, we can't lock down and fence and barbed wire and security guards, all that stuff. But I mean, at some point, how do you provide protection while not putting kids in prisons?
Why do we have to provide protection for kids learning in a learning environment? That's the real problem. You got to fix that problem.
Yeah, I mean, well, even if this wasn't an internal problem, it could be an external problem, right?
Yeah, the person didn't get mental help. I'm assuming, here goes my assumptions. We need to help these people who need help. That's the
Well,
problem.
Well, I
I'm
mean, I
saying
think
let's take a scenario. If you got an open border and you have terrorists walking across the border, I mean, what would the story be different if this was a terrorist instead of an 18-year-old kid?
well, I mean, I think the mental health question that Nate was pointing out, about getting this kid help, I mean, so you say, oh well, we don't know if he had a mental health problem. Yes, we do. The guy went in and shot up a school.
True.
Okay, well, I mean, that in and of itself is a big red flag that I might be a little wacko, because let's just be honest, okay, sane, stable, people don't go and
Persons.
shoot up elementary schools.
Valid point. Valid point.
So I think whether or not this guy had some sort of mental health issue, I think we can safely just assume that he did, because, well, he did.
Yeah.
Well, but James, sorry, not Steve. But
Don't use my code name.
But my problem with that is, I think you can easily make an argument that more than half of the United States has mental problems.
Okay.
Think about
well,
the
hang on a
we're
second.
experiencing right now.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Okay, if you're postulating that half of Americans have a mental health issue, how many of those 50% of Americans are getting help for them?
Well, where's there room for them to get help?
Well, there isn't. That's
well,
my
yeah,
point.
exactly.
We're not going to be. There's never going to be.
That's because and the reason why the places aren't there, the people aren't getting it, is because we don't prioritize it. We have this stigma, this negative stench that surrounds mental health and the people that want to get it.
Yeah, but I think what I'm getting at is not just that. I mean, like, who's going to do that? If half of the people, like 81 million, I think, have mental health issues, like, who's going to get them the help if the people in charge are just as dumb and mentally unstable as the people who need it? Like, where are they going to get it from?
Jim, and those 81 million say the other 79 million are mentally unstable, so we can go both ways on this one.
Well, they're not.
Don't we have like 300 and
360
million people in this country?
Something like that, yeah.
Then 81 is not half, Jim.
No,
maybe you need to go back to elementary school.
No, it's too dangerous. That was a dig on the people who voted for the current president, who is destroying the country.
I think he got it, but he was just saying your math wrong when you said half the country.
He was so stuck on the math.
You said half the voters, over half the voters are. That's what you were trying to get at.
Right. but I mean, my point.
Yeah,
is
I totally missed the joke on that one. I was stuck on the numbers.
Yeah, I tell you.
But it had to be more than half since they won. So.
Yeah. Right. Well, I mean, it's Russian bots, right? But so my point is even if we think that the mental health needs to be fixed, like, who's fixing it? Like, it seems like we're doing everything but that.
No, I mean, I think a large portion of it is, normal people need to talk to other normal people and say, you know what, it's okay to get help. It's okay to say, hey, this or that or whatever doesn't make sense to me, or like, I don't know. I feel like we just, as a society, we pile so much on ourselves sometimes. And yeah, there are a lot of people out there that can bear the weight, and they can do this and they can do that, and they can climb out of any hole, and they can do great things. But you know, not everybody can. Not everybody is capable of doing that. Not everybody um, has the strength or the whatever to bear that weight by themselves. And they need some help. They need some direction. They need just someone to talk to sometimes. And yeah, I mean, it's okay to need that. It doesn't
I
make
think
you
it's
any
more than
less
okay.
of a person, and it doesn't make you any less of it doesn't diminish anything from you as a person, or a parent, or any of that stuff, to say, hey, I need a hand.
Yeah, I think it makes you a stronger and better person to fix yourself,
Yeah, I
Well,
or to get
completely
help.
agree.
Not to say not to fix yourself, but to get help for yourself.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we're supposed to help each other. I mean, I think that's the whole purpose of us being here. Like, that's the whole existence of mankind. We're not individual hermits that go under a bridge and just live out our lives like that. No, we're here for people. So that should be the normal. But I guess what my concern is just listening to you. I'm transitioning from mental health to weight. So what's the answer? Do we just tell heavy overweight people that it's okay to be overweight, when actually we should be telling them, hey, I see you got an issue, we need to work on it?
There's a
So
lot
Yeah.
more out. There's a lot more out there right now for an obese person to lose weight than there is for a mental person to get help.
well, I get it, but
Facts.
my point is not
But
that.
but hang on a sec. Let me address your points as you're bringing them up, okay? But so if you're going to go see a psychologist, that's exactly what they're going to do. They're not going to just sit there and let you dump, or at least from my personal experience, you're going to, they're going to push you and help you get to places where you're better able to um you know take on some of that stuff and work through your issues. I mean, I mean, it's not like going to the gastrologist and getting 7 pounds of stomach cut out. Mental health doesn't work like that. You can't just go in and have some surgery done and be 150 pounds lighter in a couple of months.
Yeah, but I think at what point does this become the problem? Like, if you say, for example, look at your view. We don't even know what a woman is now, right? So we can't define a woman. So is that making people feel better about themselves, or is that causing a bigger problem because now we don't even have a standard for a definition, and then people have to process that now? Like, are we?
No, I'm
Are,
saying that somebody who doesn't know what their gender is, maybe if they have a more healthy medicinal outlet for some of their angst and frustration, maybe they'll be a little less confused about their private parts.
but see, that's my point. Is that's not the way it's being approached. People are trying to tell you that that is the norm, to not
Yes,
know
I
what your
know, and that's
gender
why
is.
I'm saying that we're doing it wrong. That's my whole argument.
Right, but that's why I said it brings me back to what I was saying is the people in charge are the ones endorsing this stuff. So how are they going to fix it? They're not going to fix it because they want this
Yeah,
stuff.
right. They're not. What we're saying is we need more, but yeah, we know it's not. Like 40. I have $40 billion that could help, but no, we sent that somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that's just one example. I'm sure there's billions more that are wasteful spending
I'm
that we
going to say,
could
what about
use.
what about
No,
all
I
that
don't
money
want.
we airdropped into
Yeah,
Syria under a couple
I mean,
administrations ago? What about all that money?
with the VA example, I don't want the government running these mental health facilities to help people, obviously, but they can fund the local hospitals and local resources to support these
Yes,
Well, one would even
facilities.
what
argue,
he
even
said.
if you just put culture back to what it should be instead of start tweaking with it to fit everybody's needs and desires, Just make the culture a simple culture. And I say this because you can't be foolish to think it's not possible. There's a group of people in this country, I think they call them the Amish people, have been living a way of life for years.
And they also smell really bad, Jim. When was your last encounter with an Amish person?
That's
okay.
irrelevant.
I mean,
that's,
I
see,
think deodorant. Deodorant is a simple trade-off for people not knowing what their kibbles and bits are.
But you get what I'm saying, though. There's a society within this country that's living under all this turmoil that we claim is all these problems, and they don't have a problem because they have a standard and they stick to the standard.
Well, that's the certain Amish. Other Amish leave the Amish.
Sure.
So not all Amish stay Amish. So obviously
that's not my point. I'm not here to criticize you. I'm telling you that there is a society of people that are living in this country. I'm not saying all Amish people stay in that, but I'm saying they actually live in this country in their own set of standards, and they're not harmful. They're not shooting schools. They're not destroying things. They're living within the boundaries.
So is everybody else that's not. So is everybody else that's not mentally disabled, mentally stable. We're not out there shooting things over, so we're just like the Amish. I'm not out there shooting up schools. It's the mental disability. It's what it is.
Well, but I understand. But you and I and not Steve down here, we probably all have different beliefs and setups and values in different places. I'm talking about a group of people who share common interests, common values, and they abide by them.
Yeah, but you don't think that there's ever been a Hezekiah out there somewhere who hasn't gotten tired of Ezekiel's shit and let that axe swing a little wide when he was chopping wood? I mean...
Yeah, they actually had a mass...
maybe.
They had a mass shooting at an Amish school up in Pennsylvania a couple years ago. And they leveled the school and never built the school again because that's what the Amish did. But it still happened in the Amish, Jim. It still happened in the Amish.
Problem solved. They still exist. They don't have all these problems that we got.
I just told you an Amish did it.
I just told you that they dealt with it and they don't have a problem with that school anymore.
Well, not that school.
Where's the next one?
Well, I'm just telling you, Amish have done it. I'm just telling you.
I'm really confused by your argument right now, Jim. I mean, I understand where you're trying to go with it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. My point is they live within this country. So the arguments that are being made are this
American
culture, this country, but they exist in this country with their own culture, and they're fine.
And so do millions of other Americans.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just the Amish. There's millions of other Americans that we all coincide together too, and don't do mass shootings.
But give me a label. What are you just saying? People? Yeah, of course there's people, but give me the label.
Stop trying to label people, Jim.
Is it Christians that do this?
Americans. Americans. Right. There's your label, Americans. There's plenty of Americans out there that do the same thing as the American Amish because they're Americans too.
Sure. I don't even know where this whole direction was going.
I don't know.
You guys got me so...
You mentioned Amish, so...
Well, I mentioned a society, a culture in our society that doesn't seem to have a problem existing, even though we as a culture have all these problems. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about America white supremacist, America this, America that. We've got these gun problems, but yet there's a culture that seems to be doing just fine, and they don't have all of our problems. That's what I'm talking about. They also
don't have the internet.
See? That's my point. That's my point.
Which means they're not watching the show and they're not getting any of your pep talk right now. So
I don't need their pep. That's not about
stop
pep
catering to a crowd that's not going to get you sponsors, Jim. Damn.
All my point is they exist. They're fine. There's no excuse.
And my point is there's millions of other Americans that do the same thing. It's just select ones that have mental health issues that need the help, and that's the problem in America. So it's basically what it all boils down to. Everything comes down to mental health, but they want to blame something else because they don't want to solve the mental health issue. Because not Steve said, it's a stigma, and it shouldn't be a stigma.
Yep.
Well, it's bigger than that, though. I think it's bigger than that. It's getting worse because of social media and all that stuff. I think we all can recognize.
It makes it easier to tighten some of those screws. You know, like I mean, you talk about the tormented kid at school or whatever, you know. Yeah, it used to be, you know, I got off the school bus and I went home and, you know, all the stuff that the dickbags in gym class were talking is now gone. Well, now, you go on your Instagram or your Twitter or whatever, fancy social media platform you choose to be on, and then bam, it's all right there in your face again. But I mean, it's nothing new. It's a different way to deliver the same crap that's always been there. But I mean, that still doesn't remove the fact that,
I'm
people,
interested. Go ahead, Steve. Not Steve.
Well, I was getting, it doesn't remove the fact that what we have is a failure to support people. And I can't remember who the quote is originally derived from, but it says that a great society is judged on how they take care of the people who are least capable of taking care of themselves, right? And so when you look at this guy down in Texas, we failed him.
Community failed him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree.
He needed help. And obviously, this was his last outcry. And I hate that it had to happen like that.
Yeah, there was probably many other ways along the way where he could have gotten that significance, that attention, that care, whatever it is he was searching for. He could have gotten it any other way along that trip.
Yeah, I'm ready to see the facts that are put out, the statements that are put out in the future of what transpired and how it all happened, and what will be the outcome. I mean, there probably will be no outcome. They're probably not going to open up any more mental health facilities. Just
no, I told you they're already going to try to shovel this one under because it doesn't fit their agenda.
Well, I mean, even if it did fit their agenda, it's still not going to open up mental health facilities.
Sure.
And the end point, that's really what I believe is needed.
As long as they can blame guns or ultra MAGA or something like that, extremists, then they're not going to fix the problem. They never do. That's the problem. They kick it down. Down the road.
Look, the red ones are just as bad.
Yes, thank you. The Republicans aren't going to open up mental health facilities either. So it's both sides.
No. I wasn't specifically just.
Like you were saying earlier, Jim. While the other ones are looking for a way to blame it on the AR-15 or the Caucasian or whatever, the red ones are going to be over there trying to say, well, he's an illegal, and if we'd have closed the border, then this wouldn't have happened. It's going to be the same shit, the same sorry bullshit storylines from both sides, and nothing's ever going to get done.
Yeah, I agree. X gets a square. But that's the way it's been, so what do you do? It's
just a sad situation. It always comes down to politics in this thing.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I mean, we started, obviously talking about the incident. And let's be real, it's hard to talk about this stuff. It's not like I want to sit here and dwell on a bunch of kids getting killed in any scenario, So it's easier probably to slip into politics and the blame game and all that stuff. It's easier to go there.
Yeah. Problem's got to be fixed. Is it gun control or is it mental health facilities? That's what our elected officials are supposed to be doing. But they'll just go like this and nothing will happen.
Yeah. End of the day, it's people. It's people. And whatever fix you try to do, as long as you're dealing with people, you're at least doing something. So stop trying to mess with the tools and the places and the circumstances and deal with the people. Stop categorizing everybody. Stop labeling everybody. Just talk to the people. Just go talk to your neighbors, for goodness sake. Go meet your neighbors you probably lived next to for 4 years and don't even know what they do for a living.
What's your neighbor's name, Jim?
Larry.
Liar.
No, I'm not. Why would you call me
it's true.
Was it Larry? I know you just moved to your neighborhood. I don't know if you knew anybody or not.
Oh, that's the first thing I do, dude.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I do is walk around and introduce myself to everybody.
I know everybody on my. I have 3 cul-de-sacs in my neighborhood. I know everybody on my cul-de-sac.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
Whether they want to talk to me or not, I do that. I'll even give them my phone number. Say, hey, you got any problems with me? Call me before you call the cops. More than likely, I didn't know I was doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I try to do. Be a good neighbor.
Community.
Oh, come on, Jim. You know you were doing that cocaine.
Community
You knew you
policing.
were doing that.
Community policing. Community. That's what's needed in this country more.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just people getting in touch with people. I mean, so and the reason, like I said, like I wasn't bagging just one side. I'm saying one side tends to play the people the wrong way. It's one thing if they're making an excuse for it, but when you're saying that this is white supremacy, or just like we talked about, you're not even mentioning the race when it's not a white guy. You're playing the people. You're not playing the problem. And I agree with you that all the politicians are kicking it down the road because it doesn't affect them. You know what I mean? But I remember there was a Republican softball game that got shot up.
And nothing still happened.
You're telling me they didn't care that they were getting shot up? You know what I mean? So,
But that did get remarkably short news headlines.
yeah, of course. Because they can't play against the people. They're not. Yeah, I mean, what do you do? Which one of you guys want to run for president? All right. Wait a minute. Not Steve or not Steve either.
We can both run.
I was gonna say we can flip a quarter. I'll be running, mate. I don't care.
Well,
No,
then I'm
we
not
can-
voting because
We can both run. We just
There you go.
America-
You take the blue ticket. I'll take the red ticket. Jim can take the green ticket.
Either way, we're gonna win.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Well,
At
let's
least
put a wrap
we'll
on
get
this.
somebody quasi sane in office for a handful of years.
That's one way to do this.
Well,
but
it ain't
yeah,
gonna be me. So let's put a wrap on this and start our election campaign. But again, thanks, guys. It's a tough subject, and unfortunately, we have to talk about it. And again, condolences to all the families and everybody dealing with this stuff. Condolences to the people who can't accept the fact that they need to recognize the issue first before making it politics. Those people need more help than probably the shooter himself. But hopefully you all got something out of this. If you got an opinion, leave an opinion in the comments below. If you're a veteran, get on the show and we could help, or you can help talk about this stuff. So if there's no other alibis, I'm going to tell you guys, have a great day, stay safe, and Godspeed.
and pull the pin already. Boom.
Thanks for joining us here at Pull the Pin Already. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If you like what we do, go ahead and hit that like button and share this video with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you don't miss out on any of our future episodes. But most importantly, leave a comment below. Let us know if you agree or disagree with our opinion. Hope to see you here next time on Pull the Pin Already.